It's a podcast about Indiana Jones. Every movie, 1 minute at a time. The Indiana Jones Minute.
Welcome back to the Indiana Jones Minute, the daily podcast in which we reach right in and grab the still beating heart of Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom 1 minute at a time. I'm Pete Mummert.
I'm Tom Taylor.
I'm Gerald Christopher Marcus Porter.
And today we're joined by our resident professor, a woman who, if you listen to season 1 or if you're related to Jerry, needs no introduction, Christy Porter. Welcome back, Christy.
Hi, guys. Thank you.
I know Christy.
Hi.
Welcome.
Woohoo.
We're doing Temple of Doom.
Yay.
Hooray.
Hooray.
Enthusiasm.
Yippee! We're on minute 6 today. Minute 6 begins with Lao Che slamming something wrapped in white paper down on the Lazy Susan so hard that the chocolate coins clink, and it ends 60 seconds later with Lao and his 2 sons examining a jade urn.
Now, the first thing I noticed about this minute is that the music has, there's a sort of a woodwind embellishment that suggests a Lazy Susan mischief. we've had all sorts of mischief in the Indiana Jones series, South American Pampas mischief, and there wasn't there a desert date night mischief?
You heard it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, here we have a Lazy Susan mischief. So, and sort of a descending strings when the Lazy Susan, goes halfway around the table.
Twirly, 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 twirly.
Desert Date Knife Mischief sounds like a Yanni song.
Yeah, that's a good point. Good point. I thought that I detected a little clarinet in there. I guess that's a woodwind. Pretty sure.
Yes.
We're on the. I think like Lazy Susan mischief would be like a John Lee Hooker.
That'll be her.
We got Yanni. Yeah.
We do have the Blues Brothers here in the scene, so.
Yeah.
We were who?
The 2 big guys behind Lao.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Oh. Okay.
Well, so there's something I was talking about either Friday or Thursday. I've been really concerned about where this glass of poison champagne comes from. And as Lao slams down that diamond onto the Lazy Susan, you can see Sonny reaching over with his bandaged hand and with his hand on the glass of champagne that gets sent around. And Jerry, I have a mild anxiety disorder, and it is going nuts in this minute just thinking about this glass of poison champagne has been sitting in front of him the entire time. Like I couldn't do that. Like I would just think, I'm going to drink it. I'm going to drink it. I'm going to drink it.
Yeah. 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 You'd be like, I'm going to take a sip. Oh my gosh.
I'm going to wash down these holiday coins with No, I understand that. Like, what if somebody does a toast?
Yeah. That'd be dangerous.
Yeah.
Hey, come on. Don't be a stick in the mud. Raise your glass. What are you doing?
No, wait. I'm not. Then you'd have to commandeer the toast yourself.
You're embarrassing me. Not again.
Keep it going. You'd have to do like a filibuster so you didn't drink the poison.
Well, it is the only drink on that Lazy Susan. So I really do. I just kind of wonder how they know that he's going to drink it.
Yeah, he's pretty trusting by drinking this.
Yeah, he didn't request a champagne or anything. He would like a diamond, please. And they passed him a drink that he didn't ask for.
Was this him trying to be tough? Like, I'm going to drink Sonny's drink.
Exactly.
Shouldn't have put it on the Lazy Susan, son.
Yeah.
Mine now.
Yeah, clearly, when it goes, halfway around, it's like spin the Susan.
But also on the Lazy Susan here is the diamond that we know now it's a diamond after Willie opens it up, and she opens it, and her face just lights up, and she starts beaming, and she says, "Oh, Lao," thinking apparently it's a present for her.
I think I guess, don't dames really like diamonds? That's like their main character trait.
Yes. It's
their
genetic.
Best friend. Yeah.
Yeah. So, she can't help it. She's genetically disposed to react to diamonds.
Tommy, come over here while I snap you in the forehead.
Ow!
Finger. Okay.
Thank
Wait,
you.
speaking of ow, I've always been confused. She tosses the diamond, or he gets her to toss the diamond to him, and she stands up and she's like, since 1984, I've been confused by this line because I thought she was saying he put tools in my dress from Paris. But then, like, just a couple days ago, I realized that she was saying he put two holes in my dress from Paris. And I was like, has she never seen a fork before? It's a fork. How long has she been out of Missouri?
He put
Not a
tools
trowel.
in my dress from Malta.
Well, the first thing I noticed here is when Indy pokes Willie with the fork and she releases the diamond, that reminded me of a minute that we all discussed at great length in Raiders. Does anybody know what I'm talking about?
Oh, and that guy tossed a diamond to Indiana Jones. That was awesome.
No, it was when Toad, said 2 holes. No, it was the Rucksuckle minute, which where Indy, yes, where Indy sort of kicks the Nazi guy, and his hat, flies up in the air to Pete. I remember you called it Peter and the Wolf flute music, and no, but the point was, we see a character trait here. If someone has something that Indy wants, he'll get them to relinquish the item with this mixture of violence and panache. like he does right here with Willie, right? He pokes her, and then the diamond kind of does almost like a cartoonish whoop, and he catches it.
Yeah. Yeah.
But as in Raiders, this violence is definitely not commensurate with the item that he's going for. Like, this fork is sharp because this scene immediately cuts and you see the fork jabbed into the wood of the table. And for that fork to be standing straight up out of, presumably pretty hard wood, that has to be really, really sharp.
But we need to be clear here. It's commensurate with the fact that Willie is not properly reading the social cues.
No, she's very much in the way.
She's not. She's not.
She's an interloper, and I don't really buy that why Lau is putting up with this. I mean, we have this huge, tense business exchange. It sounds like something that Lau's been looking for maybe his whole life. Yeah. And then now he's going to stop everything, and he's going to be like, oh, this is Willie Scott.
Yeah, can't he just snap his fingers and have her removed? Just taken into the dragon's mouth or something while he conducts business?
Yeah. Yeah.
But
and that wouldn't be the first time, by the way, because she must have seen lots of different business deals. And she must have kind of bumbled her way through many of them.
Yeah.
Suppose.
Or maybe this is the most tense one, and usually she does hang out for them. The big kids let her sit at the table, and she gets to interact a little bit. But this one's about, an ancient Chinese ruler. It's a little more tense.
But if that's the case, why does she act like this is a gift from Lau?
Yeah, that is really weird.
Yeah,
I'm somehow once again on the side of being a Willie apologist.
Strangely,
you make life interesting, Pete.
But I mean, perhaps we know she's very talented at her job. Like, she's a great singer, she's a great dancer, and maybe these are just issues. Oftentimes entertainers, singers, drummers are kind of high maintenance. They require a lot of work. And I mean, this just might be part of the stuff Lau has to put up with to make sure she stays happy and she keeps performing.
Maybe she's just excited to see that her man, her sugar daddy, is able to acquire this kind of she's, oh my gosh, if you can get this kind of diamond, oh boy, all right, I hitched my wagon to the right guy.
And I like she has the same reaction Indy would have. Like, she sees the diamond and her eyes do that cartoon bug out thing.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, treasure.
Well, you bring up a really good point, Tommy, that I never thought about. Is Lau Willie's sugar daddy?
I think so.
But she's a professional singer, and she's quite good. I mean, she doesn't need a sugar daddy, does she? You're about to get smacked in the head. Chris, sir, you're about to smack him in the head.
I didn't do anything.
Sugar daddy.
I think she is his. She's on his arm. She's his dame, right?
The gangster mall.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know if they're
you know
going
what's interesting?
steady. I don't know if they've exchanged letter jackets or anything. But
What's
they're-
weird about that
yeah.
though is
She's
think about
wearing
it,
his-
but if they're going steady, then why would she? I mean, she takes an immediate shine to this fellow American, and she's like, "Oh, you must introduce us," and then she immediately goes over to his side of the table.
Well, I think her whole experience here, you know, getting plucked out of the States and living it up in China is, you know, it's like all just like parties and socializing and stuff. So she's just kind of doing that thing, I think. She's like, oh, the new guy, I got to meet him and, you know, talk him up a little bit. And, you know, she's just kind of
Wait,
working
wait,
the
wait.
room a little bit.
Plucked out of the States. This was probably like a teaching English as a second language type thing.
Right.
And then, you know.
We don't know how she got there, do we?
Oh,
No,
I know
we don't
she
know.
has a heck of a lot of talent. I think she heard that there are a lot of hot nightclubs in Shanghai. She had a shot to be something great there, and she moved there.
That's all well and good, but there's nothing that connects her to Lau in this scene. I'm just not feeling it. I don't think that he likes her. I don't think that I don't even know if she knows the kids. She doesn't talk to the kids at all. And I can't imagine that she's actually familiar with his business or has been around for too many of these business transactions, but she seems to be here now, and she wanders right in, and he doesn't tell. You're right. You know, they could snap her fingers and feed her to a dragon, but apparently they haven't.
Well, perhaps
there.
Willie came east for religious reasons because she's doing something that Jerry talks about a lot. She's living in the moment. She's
Pete?
perfectly present in the moment.
Is that how people talk about me?
Obviously. Oh, okay. All right.
Well, actually, to be fair, she is quite good at singing "Anything Goes," and we talked about that.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. And so she stands up after Indy jabs her with the fork, and she causes him to spill some of his champagne.
Yep.
And Lau gets really angry and says, "Sit down."
Mm-hmm.
And as he gets really angry, I have trouble figuring out what happens here. Either Indy kicks her chair really hard and she slides away, or else the other son grabs the chair with his leg and pulls it away.
I think he kicks her. I think he shoves her out of the way. I think I don't know why though.
And I think she's on rollers.
I think she's on rollers too.
Yeah. And I think the chair has wheels on it also.
Casters.
So it's like a lazy Susan chair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lazy boy, Susan.
Lazy boy Susan.
The Chinese did invent the wheel, didn't they? So they just put them on everything. Yeah, I just watched it again. I think Indy definitely shoves her over with his foot.
Well, he looks just infuriated at this moment.
Yeah.
Like he looks disgusted, and I think he's disgusted by seeing his own behavior of sort of gold lust sort of reflected in her face.
Well, she tried to grub his diamond that he just earned. She's like, "Oh, look what I got!" Like, no, get out of here! You don't got nothing. It's my diamond. Get off me.
I think he's disgusted because she's not properly reading social cues.
Yeah, he hates that.
Yeah, he hates.
He's so
that.
good at those. Yeah.
Yeah.
Emily Post is going to hear about this. This does not fly. But it's interesting because we've seen him stab a girl on the side with tools and kicks her over and stuff, kicks her to the side and everything. But when we were doing Raiders, we were talking constantly about like, oh, this guy is like more of a jerk than I remember. He's like kind of like he's a kind of a boozer and a womanizer and whatever and stuff. And like, you got all these kind of, there's a darkness to him and stuff. And we're like, like the later ones, he's kind of like a happy-go-lucky, Jiminy Jilliker's American hero guy. But now in this scene right now, he's being a jerk. He's like not being like dark or brooding. He's just being a jerk.
Yeah.
It's like poking people and kicking them and just being grumpy.
The whole scene actually is the lines that Indy says are clumsy.
Yeah, there's a lot of that.
They don't seem like lines that Indiana Jones would say.
Right.
We talked about it. It's like a bad James Bond impersonation or something.
It
I
is
mean,
like
yeah.
Bond 1984.
Yeah.
Not the real James Bond 1984. Because that would have been cool.
Yeah.
Like a knockoff.
What was
can't
that?
like
View to a Kill?
Yeah, Moonraker was what, 82 or something?
Somewhere, or 80 maybe, 81.
Yeah.
I mean like a fake one.
Oh,
Yeah.
And
Diamonds
yeah, and
are
I
for
should
Willie.
not be thinking about 1984 when I'm watching this scene, right? I should not be thinking about that. So they
Right.
definitely should not be wearing these prom outfits. 1984, and it's not all of them.
It's
It's
evening wear.
I know it's just Lau, but we have never seen James Bond anybody looking cool in like a spy or good guy villain situation in tuxes wear black shirts. So I really object to the black shirt. I do. Sorry.
Do you think that's sort of like an American tough guy trying to dress up cool, and he's in a band and he's got a black shirt
Yeah,
and a white tie?
I mean, I know that there are bow ties, but really, I'm pretty sure that when these guys walk off camera, Lau like takes off the bow tie and puts on the world's skinniest tie. Maybe it's even like a skinny piano tie.
Wow. Wow.
Where it is. Yeah.
Chris, sir, it's prom. It's prom night. They're just, they're going to do it.
Oh.
Hey.
They're just
Oh, my.
dressed. Yeah, they're dressed up for the Holiday Inn Express.
Yeah.
Well, we do move to a very James Bond thing here where Lau says, "Now you bring me Nurhaci," and Indy kind of snaps his finger and says, like he does that James Bond squint, and he says, "My pleasure."
Yeah,
and
I
this
like this.
waiter comes over. Yeah.
This shot
Yeah,
is
that's
cool.
okay.
It's a good.
That's
It's like you got Indy and Willie sort of framing the frame, and Wuhan, is that his name?
Yeah.
He's like away in the back in the distance, and he comes over and says, I don't know. There's something kind of. It's like the most interesting shot in the movie so far, maybe.
And you also see a cigarette girl back there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm really curious. Every scene she shows up in the next couple minutes, which I mean, if you haven't seen the movie, you'll find out why in a couple minutes. But I'm trying to figure out if there's any kind of animosity between anybody here.
Well, again, though, the shot is fine, but the line just it clanks,
Which
It-
like the
That's
welcome
just
home
the
old
mo-
boy or whatever.
Nah, that's next minute.
that's next
and
minute.
that
Oh, it is?
sucks too.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that sucks too. But the my pleasure, he's just I don't know. It just there's something stilted or affected about it.
Well,
Yeah.
why would it be his pleasure? I mean, the son tried to kill him the night before.
It's like my pleasure. Can we please be done with this? Oh my
Yeah,
God.
and he also like didn't he say to your good health?
Yeah.
And it's just
Yeah.
it's the whole thing is strange. The whole thing is strange. The son tried to kill him, and he technically severed his forefinger.
Yeah.
For those of you at home counting, and he, they some of these lines just clank like the staff of rock clanks in the map room when he throws it in there, and it's like bling bling bling.
Ka-kink.
Yeah, they just fall.
Yeah. Yeah. There's a lot
But
of that.
I don't know if it's a bad script or if Indy is kind of putting on an act here. Like he's trying to be suave. Like we know he's not necessarily a suave guy, but is this Indy kind of young age before Raiders kind of trying to make his way in the world? And he's, you know what, I'm going to be a suave dude. I'm going to
Yeah, maybe
play
this
my
is,
character and I'm going to try to sound British. My pleasure.
yeah, this is his first time in China. He's like, nobody knows me here. I'm going to reinvent myself a little bit.
Exactly.
He's super suave, sophisticate.
Maybe I could get one of these English as a second language jobs. But what I want to know is what, like,
That's an excellent point. What is the suaviest that we see Indian Raiders of the Lost Ark?
Maybe,
It's a lot of quiet over there.
no, well, there's a few looks to think over. There's, I mean, it depends. I guess it depends on how you define suave. The first thing I think of is maybe just him in his professor costume.
But that's
It's
not
pro-
suave. That's like,
Yeah, it's kind of not
kind of
suave.
endearing and kind of
That's charming.
geeky
Yeah.
and charming, but I don't think it's suave.
Is he
It's
suave at
actually-
the end in his suit and everything with the hat and on the stairs in San Francisco? I mean,
Yeah, but
Washington.
but
Maybe.
his demeanor is totally different. He's angry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Maybe
would
he's not
say
suave.
it would be when he's eating at Salah's house.
He's very handsome there. I don't
Yeah,
know if
he's
he's
handsome.
suave there though.
Yeah.
I thought
Gotta
of
be
that, but I don't know if
suave
that's
there
suave.
either. Yeah. I think
But
I think he gave up being suave after this scene.
Yeah. Well, with good, good
That
reason.
didn't work.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think someone
It didn't
maybe
work
really
for him,
told
huh?
him later, hey, you know what? That those lines you were using, don't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh well, all right.
Well, I got a question here. I mean, what exactly is in the Nurhaci reliquary?
Oh wait,
Because-
before he puts that thing down. And Pete, I was worried about you because you have a slight anxiety disorder, as you're so proud of letting us know. That the lid on that thing just plain old rattles. It's like not screwed in. It's not attached or anything. It's just like kind of dancing on top of that thing.
Well, in an earlier version of the script, that actually plays a lot bigger role. There are several little sections of this where Willie actually spills ashes. And like she spills ashes and Lau gets mad. And then at
What
the end of the
terrible
scene,
idea.
the ashes all like explode up into Lau's face. Like,
And then she sticks her face in the power coupling, and her tongue goes all numb, and it sounds funny. She sounds like Bill Cosby.
Oh wow.
Oh, look, I mean, people, we're at minute 6 here. Yeah, I mean, do we have like a 5-bell Jar Jar Binks alarm?
Oh man.
well, no, Spielberg is a good enough director. He didn't put that in. I mean, he didn't like you get kind of nervous that the jade jar is kind of clinking and the lid's not on very well, but you don't ever see any ashes coming out of it.
Right.
Well, who's the other guy who wrote this drivel?
It was written by
Ike and
Gloria Katz.
Gloria Katz and
You say
Willard
it.
Hike.
Hike. Hike.
Hike.
And hey, they wrote American Graffiti. That's unimpeachable.
Yeah.
No, of course. I
Meanwhile-
was kind of hinting at George Lucas here. I don't think George Lucas. Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah. It's hard to know what were theirs and what was his.
Yeah.
There's so many people to blame.
There's the bad line at the bad linitude seems to be I always blame George Lucas.
Yeah, well, speaking of that, okay, speaking of bad lines, we have to talk about the worst line possibly in the movie, certainly so far. And I'm going to read you my notes.
I
This is
hope it's not. I hope that it doesn't get any worse than this. I hope this is the last bad line we find.
I'm sure it's going to be great. She says, this Nurhaci's a real small guy, and I wrote in my notes, "F you, movie. Lines like this are not just Willie, it's the movie's fault." How does I can't be mad at Kate Capshaw for this. I can't be mad at Willie for this. I don't know, a team of people said, "Oh, awesome. We're going to have this line in our motion picture."
I can't
That
wait
this
for
guy's
that
a
one.
really small guy. She sees a jar and they're referring to it as a guy, and she thinks there's a tiny man in there. I want to turn this off right now. Can we stop?
See, actually, I don't mind this line. I actually kind of think it's funny.
Oh. Come on, Pete. Pete, you're supposed to be the voice of reason on this show.
Yeah.
Over here while I snap your
You
forehead.
guys really backed me into a corner on this one.
Well, I had a question about this line too in my notes, and this is, Tom, you're an editor,
Yes.
and a grammarian, right?
At a 5th grade level, yes.
And Chris, sir, you're a college professor and a grammatical stickler.
Yes.
And a
Stick-
Gamorrean
know.
guard. No.
Yes.
It should actually be this Nurhaci's a really small guy.
Yeah.
Oh, she
Right?
says real, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
a real
unless she's
small
saying
guy.
he's not a fake small guy.
Yeah. This guy's
real-
authentically small.
Yeah,
He's authentically small.
these
That's
ashes
right.
are legit.
Sincerely small.
Oh boy.
Most sincerely small.
See, that would have been a better line. Oh, is this guy from the Lollipop Guild? Say something like that. Don't just say he's a really small guy. Crying out
Now
loud.
that would
It's
have
a
made
bad-
sense, wouldn't it?
Yeah,
It
but she
would've.
didn't have. She grew up in the Depression. She came from a small town in Kansas or something. May not have had a great education. She's doing pretty well for herself. I'm going to give her the benefit of the doubt here.
For saying real instead of really?
Yeah.
Or for thinking that people fit in jars in China or something. Hey, wait a minute. Was Was Wizard of Oz, was that 36?
39, I think.
Oh,
39.
39. Oh, she couldn't have said Lollipop Guild then.
No.
No,
Oh,
she
well.
could.
No, there wasn't a lot in the common vocabulary at that point. She could have said.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I think one of the problems we have here is I can't stand Indy's lines, but he actually, as poor as they are, he actually is a great actor.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
He does some good
and-
stuff in here.
And I feel the same about Kate Capshaw here in terms of the acting.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Yeah.
she's like scraping the bottom of the barrel with the screenplay here.
That's sort of a struggle that I have with her as I watch this again after, 20 years or something. I was like, assuming that I hated Willie Scott because everybody hates Willie Scott. And I was like, okay, there's a lot of annoying stuff, but I think I really like Kate Capshaw. And I'm not just saying that to try to get Steven Spielberg on the show. I'm saying that I think she's actually, she does a good job as an actress in this movie, even though, yeah, she's got some baloney to do. She's the Ewan McGregor of this one, perhaps.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
I'm
she's
still
convincing
going to be
in that role.
Yeah.
I have a question about the Nurhaci reliquary. Yeah, I
Mhm.
mean, what is inside? Because whatever's in there, it's like a deep emerald color, and it looks like a beautiful, soothing aftershave.
Now, should we have a poll on the Listeners Society, or Listeners Crusade, to see what a reliquary is? Reliquary.
Well, I mean, Chris and I are damn sure we know what a reliquary is. We had all sorts of Catholic upbringing.
Damn sure.
I missed that class.
You sure did.
No, it's
Well,
where
what's on the?
they
go ahead,
keep
Joe.
relics. It's where they keep relics.
Makes
Like,
sense.
relics like, the finger of St. Jude.
Why don't they just call it a relic cozy?
Well, that's completely different. That's
Oh.
the little knitted cap that you put over the finger.
You should put on the baby Jesus in the nativity scene.
Yeah, that's right.
Well,
Well,
that brings up a question for me though. Because like when someone, in movies, when you see an urn filled with someone's ashes, the urn's usually pretty big, and they usually they ended up spilling it all over the living room and stuff.
Yeah.
But this urn's pretty small. So if this is ashes, is it just part of him? Or
Yes.
like how many ashes does it take to fill up a jade urn like this size?
Well, some families, I know somebody who died recently was cremated, and the wife has a little bit that she keeps in the house, and some was scattered somewhere else and stuff. So
And maybe
that's
that
just
was maybe that's the point Willie was making. Like most urns with dead people are larger, so this guy must have been smaller to generate
that's
fewer
not
ashes.
nearly enough mass for a human
That
being.
doesn't make any sense, Pete. But thank you for trying.
Well, maybe in real life, Nurhaci was really small.
Maybe.
Jer?
It was thousands of years ago.
He was like
Really kind of you, but
1
no,
foot.
that's not what was happening in
No,
that
but-
scene. All right. No.
Pete, you said something here, and I'm going to pin you back to the wall.
Uh-oh.
You said a jade reliquary.
I thought I said an urn, but maybe I did say.
Well, you said a jade urn, fine, but jade. You said jade, but
That's
why is it green? I mean, why are we assuming it's jade? Like, is there jade in there? And you're like,
That's
no,
Chinese.
but it's his ashes. No one cares.
No, what do you mean? You think it's a clear jar and that the stuff inside is
I guess
green?
No,
it's
it's not a clear jar.
No,
not
I
a-
think
either.
it's clear, but it has this green substance in it that looks like aftershave.
No. It's like when Heinz went to the plastic bottles and the bottle itself was red. And the mustard is yellow. The bottle themselves are yellow and red, and then the thing inside is also the same color.
Well, listen. There's a turtle with a paddle in its mouth on top.
No one's arguing that.
Yeah. I think it's a clear bottle.
It's
And
got like
there's-
antifreeze in it.
I don't know. It has something green inside, and maybe Nurhaci. It's got a dark. It's like kind of opaque-ish.
That's a real green guy.
Yes.
No, that's not how it works.
That's a really
That's a good
strange
line.
tint.
Yeah. Well, maybe we better put a poll up if any of us remember on Facebook on our listener page. What is in the urn?
That makes it
Well, what
green.
color is it?
Yeah. What color is it? What's in it? How big is it?
Over the years, it got mixed with lime Kool-Aid. Some Indiana Jones type archaeologist bumbled in there and messed everything up.
Suppose it
Oh,
could have
great.
been Alabaster. Not Jade.
Well, do you guys have anything else on this minute?
No, I'm good.
I'm good.
Well, speaking of Jade urns and maybe putting up polls, Jerry, where can people find us if they wanted to find such a poll?
Oh, certainly. Well, they should come join us on Facebook at the Indiana Jones Minute Listeners Crusade, where we will have a poll and you can come and vote. Also, we have the Indiana Jones Minute, which is actually technically www.indianajonesminute.com.
Very good.
So- and we're on Twitter at Indiana Jones Min. But the Listeners Crusade is really fun. That's we talk about all sorts of ridiculous things, and so does everybody else.
Yeah.
A
Got
lot
a
of fun.
lively, robust conversation going on there.
Yeah.
Did you say Twitter? We're on Twitter.
Yeah, I said Twitter.
Oh, did you tell them to go to iTunes and leave us a nice review
No, I didn't.
to
do
spread
that.
the love? Did you tell them to call their mother every once in a while and tell them that you love her?
No, I didn't tell them. That.
Okay.
They should.
Wipe their shoes before they come in the house?
Yeah, we'll do that tomorrow.
Perfect.
And in case you catch any part of that, you can find us also right back here where you found us today, tomorrow, for minute 7 of the Indiana Jones Minute.
Wow!
Chan?
This Nurhaci's a real small guy.
Willie. No,
I don't know.
sorry.